Hutch from ISM, Aftab Ahmed from Deloitte & Touche, Nancy Smale from Stonefield System Group. Competitors will have a maximum of 20 minutes to present. Immediately following the presentation, judges will have a total of 5 minutes to ask presenters questions. The volunteer timekeeper will show time cards at various intervals to indicate the remaining time and will stop any speaker who exceeds the maximum time limit. No questions, comments, cell phones, or picture taking will be permitted from the audience at any time. The audience will only be permitted to applaud following the question and answer period. The audience is banned from any material that bears the name or symbol of a competing university. We ask the audience to exit the room immediately following the question and answer period. Competitors, you may begin when you are ready.
Good morning, Quest Design executives, and thank you for having us. Mr. Sabadou. We're here today to provide you with our expertise in business solutions and information strategy. My name is Lara, and I'm the Director of Marketing Research. I'm accompanied today by my colleagues, Kyle, Director of Enterprise Solutions, and Shane, Director of Project Delivery. And together, we are Sky Solutions. We at Sky Solutions believe that people do not fail, simply poor processes do. And it's for this reason that we've come here to help you automate and streamline your business in order for you to achieve excellence in the future. Please feel free to refer to our agenda throughout today's presentation. We have identified Design Quest's major problem, or rather opportunity, as which management information system should you implement that will facilitate collaboration and efficiency moving forward. We've highlighted some secondary issues as well. Beginning with employee buy-in, you've experienced some difficulty in the past as far as having your employees commit to the processes that you want to have, as well as data security. Data security has become a very big issue as you're not currently backing up or have a disaster recovery plan for your projects, as well as monitoring and documenting of business processes. Because you are not putting things on any kind of cloud or server in a centralized repository, this is allowing for not a standardized format of your processes. We performed a brief internal and external analysis in the format of a SWOT. So starting internally, we'll start with strengths on a high note. So your human capital, this is something that is, you have a very small and tactile group of individuals who have a strong knowledge, understanding of your industry. You have currently diversified into real estate sales. This is something that we feel is very important for your success moving forward, as well as consumer research. Although maybe not necessarily always as good as you've hoped, your consumer research is something that not necessarily all your competitors are doing and gives you an advantage in the marketplace. Some weaknesses, however, are speaking internally is the lack of collaboration that you're able to provide for your employees, as well as the data management and security without being able to back things up. And your business is slow to generate ROI, which if you incur delays, it could cause problems in the future. Externally speaking, some opportunities are the housing price market, or prices in the market are currently increasing. This is a great opportunity for increased profit. We believe that this could also be put into related markets, such as Calgary and Seattle, where you're experiencing such a boom in Vancouver. We think this could go to there as well as the matching target markets with appropriate communities. As there is a rise of new immigrants in Vancouver and people looking for lower income housing, we think that you can match appropriate communities with this opportunity. And lastly, threats. As you're moving to larger apartment complexes, there are more experienced and monopolized sector in the business. There's also, with this bigger market, more regulatory and compliance issues that you will experience. Lastly, you're tied very much with the housing market to economic downturn, and if something were to happen within Canada, your prices could drastically change and your projected profits. Kyle will now speak to our decision criteria.
Thank you, Lara. Lara's identified the problem to be what is the appropriate management information systems that will allow Quest Design to document their processes, to enable their employees to collaborate with one another, and also to monitor their workflow. We firmly believe at Sky Solutions that an effective management information system will allow Quest Design to attain service excellence, to enable their employees to remain connected, as well as, of course, doing that, achieve greater prosperity, greater gross margins going into the future. It's an attractive destination, and as all destinations requires a vehicle to get there. And so in assessing which vehicle to be appropriate, we've come up with the following decision criteria. Namely, which management information alternative that we'll propose will enable your employees to collaborate with one another and remain connected. Which alternative will provide integration with your present processes, which alternative will be able to be matched with your processes in the best and most efficient way possible. And of course, which alternative is cost effective. And I want to just caution you, don't see cost effective as which alternative is the lowest cost, but see cost effective as which alternative provides the greatest level of value per dollar. 2 points not inputted on the screen, but of course, as we made our assessment, we did consider which alternative would be able to scale with your company as you grow, as well as which alternative offers user friendliness and ease of adoption, the easiest ease of adoption for your employees. So the three alternatives are on the screen are Atlassian HipChat, creating a service agreement with Reich, or creating a service agreement with Asana, all three of which are cloud computing alternatives. We were attracted to the cloud computing alternatives in that they are significantly less expensive to implement. They offer an ease of implementation rather than hosting a server and the necessary hardware and software on site or purchasing them nonetheless. Looking at them a bit more in depth, some attractive features to the Atlassian HipChat alternative is it offers those collaboration tools. You may have the best employees, you may have the best processes, but if they cannot connect and chat and talk with one another, that undermines their ability to be effective and attain that excellence we're talking about. They have application software and abilities that enable you to customize them to your needs. No business is unique. All businesses are unique in their own way. No business is the same. And so being able to customize this software package and alternative to your needs is an attractive feature to this alternative. And lastly, has the ability to have unlimited users using this. So there isn't a price contingency based on a number of users. Some deterrents to this alternative is it doesn't offer the dashboard tools. The nature of your projects is long-term, successive months, successive phases. So not having dashboard tools to monitor such long-term processes and phases is certainly a deterrent, as those can be, or dashboard tools can be highly beneficial. There is some concerns with the reliability of the online status. The access to this software is through online, being hosted on the cloud and the internet. So as we all know from business experience, glitches and unforeseen shutdowns can become very costly. And finally, the intuitive of the administrative functions. Some concerns with this alternative is that it isn't always the most user-friendly and intuitive. The second alternative is, of course, creating a service agreement with Reich. And Reich does offer those workflow tools. It offers the customization. It also offers unlimited storage. This is attractive in that as you bring on more and more projects, you have documentation from projects in past that you can access that will enable you to have a repository with documentation or what you did to overcome problems in past. Some deterrents to this alternative is, of course, it is the fact that it isn't the most user-friendly alternative, creating a bit of a barrier to adoption from your employees. It has no chat functionality, as well as the fact that amongst the alternatives we propose today, it is the most expensive. Lastly, we have the Asana alternative. Asana has the dashboard tools, it has the customization. What's really attractive about this alternative is it's fast and it's responsive. When your employees are out on site, they have contractors coming to them, and they want real-time answers as fast as possible. So the fact that Asana is as fast and responsive as it is and renowned for those capabilities, this is attractive for yourselves as a software solution. Some cons of this alternative is it has poor features for visualization, so it does have chat features, it does have video features, but the visualization features still have some things that are needing to be worked through. It doesn't have integration of email, so namely if there's documentation being sent via the Asana platform, it's not integrated with your employees sending emails to one another, to suppliers via their company emails, so there's not a central repository for those emails, and it cannot be accessed on or offline. So we've matched these three alternatives to our respective decision matrix, and it becomes apparent that implementing Asana is the alternative we propose to you, and the alternative we believe at Sky Solutions will be the best alternative to meet your needs. It offers the collaboration for your employees. It offers the integration of your present processes with its system and its framework, and it is cost effective in being $63 per month. A couple things we wanted to speak to is you had tried implementing EasyShare, and that came with some of its challenges. We didn't propose trying to re-implement that, as we believe EasyShare didn't obtain the functionality that we were looking for to meet your needs, as well as the fact that there was such a resistance to adoption of EasyShare that we felt that deploying that alternative would incur even more resistance from your employees. There's a nice circle to accentuate that that's the alternative we propose today. Just put in formal words, we at Sky Solutions recommend that DesignQuest move forward with the implementation of Asana due to its ability to enable that collaboration, documentation, and monitoring of workflow processes. It's very exciting, and with that I'd like to ask Shane to come forward, and he's going to discuss how this is going to be done.
Thank you, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
So, to start with our implementation plan, we're going to start with the Plan for Prosperity phase of the plan. So, at this point, we suggest that you appoint Mr. Savadu, the project leader, to keep an eye on the project and just to really make it his own, just to really get that employee buy-in by having them commit and see that he himself is committing to this project. So this would include weekly meetings with senior management. And at this point, you'd also create a financial budget for this project, just to keep a cap on the funding too. And another recommendation we have for you is to talk to I've forgotten the name of the...
One of the things we're proposing is to talk to other people in industry who've implemented Asana, who've gone through the process of going through this implementation, just to access their knowledge and see what challenges they encountered in order to overcome them before you may begin, or just be aware of them.
Thank you, Kyle. I forgot the name of the Asana is the company we're proposing. So yeah, if you speak to Asana, you can talk to them about a company that they have serviced in the past and get an idea of how they implemented it and go through it with them. So, in the second part of the planning stage, we would highly recommend you implement a change management plan. So this would include bi-weekly meetings with all of your employees. There are only 24 of them, so it wouldn't be too difficult to organize. We'd also suggest you emphasize the direct benefits to individuals. Keep in mind that they need to know that this is best to make their day easier, so that they have a reason to commit to this project. A newsletter is a suggestion we had for you to really get them involved and keep them in the loop as what's going on in the company and what's going on during the project. And we'd also suggest you inform your suppliers that you're changing your data collection techniques, just to make sure that there's no compatibility issues with the way that they're speaking with you. And if there are, we do have a method to address that further in the implementation plan. And at this point, you also want to benchmark your key performance indicators, as I will discuss them in the assessment phase, and this is just to keep an eye on how well the project has gone. So, right off the bat, we suggest that you hire a process consultant to reassess your business process. One of the main problems with your previous implementation was that your business process remained the same while you changed your system. So what we're recommending is that you create a new business process that aligns with your company's needs and the Asana software. So this will really help with change adoption, and it will also help with the way that in making your business processes more efficient so that they work with the program and really add value. We'd also suggest you hire a couple consultants for data integration. You're not a very large company, so you don't want to be wasting your time trying to integrate the data into a Asana-friendly form. So in this case, you'll hire 2 consultants to take care of this for you, and they'll go through all your old emails, all your old text messages, and try and compile them into a way that Asana is friendly with, so that you can have some past information to work off of. We are suggesting a pilot approach. So the way this will work, because if your company has so much need to be in sync at the same time, you're gonna wanna pick a specific activity. Now, when I show you the Gantt chart, you'll see that the timing of this is right around your framing section of your construction project. So if you work with the framers, then you only have one supplier to deal with, and you only have one system to assess, and then you can launch the full project to the rest of the suppliers and the rest of your processes. Again, continue with change management. You can survey your employees to see how they feel about the new system and how it's working, and really keep an eye on that pilot project. After that, we suggest a revision and assessment process. Now this would take about a month, but if the pilot project needs repiloting, this could extenuate the process as well. And at this point, we'd like you to launch Asana. So the Asana software is the one we are suggesting based off the RFIs you provided us, but if you want to go in a different direction, you can put out some RFPs, and those are requests for proposals, to get an idea of what else is out there, but in the interest of time, we're suggesting Asana. So we are suggesting that you hire an Asana consultant to provide training in employees and to train your employees in groups of 8. So this way, you can get really personal and make sure they really understand how to use the software. So take about 2 days with each group of 8. And we suggest that Mr. Sabdo attend these training sessions personally, all of them, just to have a presence in the room and really make the employees feel like he's really buying into this. Even if he only needs to learn the program the first time, have him attend all of them. Just have him seen in the room and really get the employees to follow you. And again, you want to ensure your compatibility with outside suppliers. If they're not willing to change, and we predict that they were more likely to want to use this easier system, but if they want to stick with their old ways, if they want to continue to text you, you will have to find a way to manually add this data to your software. So training your employees on how to add it when this comes up would be a great asset. In the interest of data security, make sure that you encrypt the transfer. You are dealing with a cloud system, and you don't want your data getting stolen in transit, as well as standardized passwords for all of your users. You really want to make sure that your employees aren't making passwords that are easy to hack or easy to get into. And another note on data security, you could also set privacy settings for which users can access which sections of your data. So if you have a supplier signing in, you can make it so that the supplier only sees what the supplier needs to deal with and not all of your files. Same if you want to keep something only in head management. At this point, we'd also recommend you create a disaster recovery a disaster recovery plan in case you have a problem. So we do suggest you talk to Asana as to what kind of disaster recovery plans they offer. Now this could come at extra costs and it could be rather expensive, but I'll tell you exactly what Sky Consulting Legal always tells me. There's no such thing as too much insurance. Also, creating a plan in case Asana fails on you would also be ideal, just to make sure that you have a manual process in place to keep track of the data in case they go down. And you also want to test this plan and monitor your KPIs throughout the process. Here's a brief Gantt chart, and in the interest of time, I'll just allow you to look at it on your sheets with you. We proposing a balanced scorecard technique to go over to assess the project. So in terms of financial, total cost of ownership would be a great way to assess this project. Net return, in terms of processes, just the sheer number of projects your company will be able to handle after the project and before the project would be a great indicator of how well it's done. Also a waste time reduction ratio. As for customers, and in this case, your customers are your employees, this program is really to service them. So an employee satisfaction survey would be ideal, and also retention of employees. As for learning and growth, the final section, document the lessons you've learned and note the changes to the business process. In the interest of time, I'm going to go over the risks and mitigations. Thank you.
Not enough time, and it's just too exciting. Two things I want to just highlight for you on the financial sheet here. There's going to be a total cost of ownership to this project of $437,000. But we do believe, due to the save time and the elimination of delays, which have your profits, due to a 3-month delay, you'll be able to recoup a net profit of $2.9 million. There's a certain level of specificity here. It's just due to our formulas in Excel. But in summary, we really do believe that implementing the Asana software alternative design quest will be able to address the major issues of collaboration. They'll be able to overcome the challenge of employee buy-in. They'll be able to maintain data security, and as well as monitoring and documenting their processes. That's the end of our presentation. We open up the floor to any questions you may have and look forward to chatting with you further.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I understand the schedule, if I understood properly, the schedule was optimized around change management adoption. Did I understand that correctly? And if I did, could you expand on the considerations around the urgency around the Tivoli build-out and the number of units we're building in the next phase?
One of the things we had to consider is there's about a month's time before the Tivoli build-out is in the construction phase. And we didn't feel as if that was enough time to create a successful solution, a solution that would fit your needs in the immediate, short to long term. And with that, we felt that really going about an implementation process that would be a little bit longer, but for the long-term consideration, be able to overcome the issues and put you in a better spot going into the future.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Did that answer your question?
Thank you.
I thought you didn't have enough time to go over the cost.
Yes, sir.
Now that we are in the question and answer, could you please elaborate a bit more on the saving piece that you've talked about, the $2.9 million?
Of course. Yeah, so here's just a breakdown of the formulas we use to derive the costs. And so the save time, as per conversations we've had with yourself, you estimated that on a given year, your employees lose about 5 days per each employee to lost time due to the fact that they can't find the emails, the information they need. So at an approximate cost of $30 to an employee across the company, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 24 people, that's where the initial cost came for the save time. Would you like me to elaborate on the elimination of delays?
Sure.
So we foresaw that 300 apartments in your upcoming complex, $20,000 in revenue generated per apartment building in a given year. That comes out to being, I believe it's about $6 million with a 20% gross margin. When your project becomes delayed and you say that you lose half your profits, that's approximately $600,000. So that's where we really do believe by a successful implementation of the Asana software and that solution, you will be able to recoup approximately $600,000 in lost profit.
Thank you.
So the assumption in terms of savings is that it's 100% recoup in terms of time saved.
Yes, sir. We really do believe that those challenges can be overcome, and this is a solution that will enable you to do so.
Did you consider the time it takes to train people on the new system this year for time saved?
Yes, of course. So we have budgeted for a training consultant, as Shane had mentioned, to come in to train your personnel. So that would be in iterations of 8 people across, 8 people for 2 days, across 6 days in total. And then the training of your Design Quest people. And so, yeah, we have incorporated those training costs.
Oh, the training costs, yes, but in terms of saved time, you actually just identified it's 6 days of training for all 24 people, and people lose 5 days each year due to the time that they waste. So in essence, in the first year at least, you're looking at no savings for time, but in the future, you would.
You know what, sorry, that was a mistake perhaps on myself. We proposed 2 days of training per employee.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, it was 6 days for the consultant to be in to train your employees.
Got it.
Sorry, yeah.
I'll ask a question on the change management piece on the first layout attempt. with the software they have now. So, with any type of software like this, the value is really in the network. If you don't have everybody on the network, it falls apart. So I know you use words like emphasize direct benefits and encouragement, but, in some ways it's sort of like getting a pamphlet in the mail with all the information you need. It might be a beautiful system, but do you think that's really sort of enough to make sure that everyone uses this holistically and there's no gaps in that make the network fall apart?
So what we were suggesting is, on top of the change management, we also were suggesting meetings with the employees, just keep them in the loop. So and again, our training sessions were limited to 8 people, so they're very, very personalized, and to make sure that everyone understands how to use it. And 2 days to use the system is quite generous for training. So you will be training them on every platform to make it as easy as possible for them. And on top of that, we believe that having Mr. Savdu have a personal presence in the room, in the training session, and also just to be seen supporting it will really get the employees behind it to use them. And we had it mentioned in our risks and MIT actually.
Stop.